Hello and a very warm welcome to all the viewers of 3.0 TV. I am Manoj Dara. Let me introduce you to Mr. Raj Kapoor from India Blockchain Alliance. He is a founder and he is also associated with the government agencies as well. Sir, there are a lot of development that are happening as far as the Ethereum ecosystem is concerned. And recently it has come to our notice that layer 2 solutions are growing at a rapid pace, as Coinbase has also announced its layer 2 solution base. And we're talking about Ethereum, on the contrary, is grappling with the ongoing tussle for supremacy between the Arbitrum and the Optimism. As these two constitute roughly around 85% of the total market share as far as the TVL is concerned. Last year, if we remember, that Polygon Matic dominated this space for considerable time span. So what are your views and observation as far as the this layer 2 ecosystem is concerned, and why it is getting a lot of traction, sir? If you can just very quickly highlight that, sir.
Okay, first, to understand that, let's just very quickly spend a minute on what is layer 1 versus what is layer 2. What is the basic difference? That's for people who don't understand, so it's easy for them to understand the rest of the conversation. So first of all, layer 1 is the main blockchain network in charge of the on-chain transactions.
Such as Ethereum, Solana and Avalanche.
Yes, like that, correct. While layer 2 is the connected network in charge of off-chain transactions. This is the essential difference in a single line. So what is exactly layer 2, which is what people are talking about? It's a term basically used for solutions created to help scale up an application by processing the transactions of the mainnet, of selecting the Ethereum mainnet, for example, which is the layer 1, while, most important, still maintaining the same security measures and decentralization as the mainnet.
Fantastic.
That is important. Because otherwise somebody says, okay, if it's not on the main layer 1 blockchain, is it secure, etc.? It is secure. Also, this brings down the gas fees, which is another big pain area, and increases transaction speed. That is important. Now, you must have heard of the Ethereum 2 solutions, including Immutable X is there, Polygon is there, Polkadot is there. Those are the ones. Now the question is, why are they getting so much traction?
Exactly.
Scalability and increased throughput, while maintaining the integrity of the Ethereum blockchain, of a layer 1 blockchain, like in this case, Ethereum, allowing it for complete decentralization without any alloying, transparency, security, while also, most important, reducing carbon footprint. Less gas, less energy is equal to less carbon. Therefore, this is arguably one of the best solutions coming up now. Basically, Ethereum mainnet is to have very slow transaction times, approximately 13 transactions per second, gas fees, etc. Layer 2 built on Ethereum blockchain really made it very fast. Now, that is one of the reasons. What is also very important are the layer 2 rollups. I don't know whether you have discussed this much, but I think layer 2 rollups are something which we need to know about. There are 3 properties of a layer 2 rollup. One, the transactions are executed outside layer 1.
Exactly.
This reduces gas fees. Second, data and proof of transactions reside on layer 1. That means it maintains security. And 3, a roll-up smart contract, which is found on layer 1, can enforce proper transaction execution on layer 2 by using the transaction data stored on layer 1. So it's using the layer 1 and solving other problems without having the gas fees and the time taken and the slowness.
Sir, exactly what Optimism is doing that, sir?
Yes, they are all, everybody, optimistic roll-up, assume basically their transactions are validated by default and only run computation by a fraud-proof in the act of a challenge. That is absolutely correct. You got one. And then now you must have even heard of the zero-knowledge rollups, which are coming up also.
Exactly. That's the latest upgrade of Optimism, which is called as the OP tokens. And there are a lot of optimism as far as the entire Ethereum ecosystem is concerned. You are very quick on the NFT space, a quick take on this NFT space, sir. It has seen a considerable growth this year. What's driving the optimism? As Bitcoin has also launched its first NFT collections, which is Ordinal. Your quick reaction on that, sir, since you are associated with a lot of NFT projects. What's the road ahead as far as the entire NFT ecosystem is concerned?
I'm always enthusiastic about NFTs because they actually, besides the collectible value, they also have a lot of real life applications. Now, a lot of them, everybody thinks NFT is a bubble. Well, it could be a bubble. Everybody thought internet was a bubble. It didn't turn out to be. Everybody thought online transactions like payment gateways, etc. would be bubble. They didn't turn out to be bubbles. I would say in simple words, NFT today is in the same space where, say, a Google Pay or a Paytm was about 10 years back.
Fantastic.
Very few people, and the adoption was minimalistic. There was more skepticism. But over the next few years, you'll see the optimism, not only in the collectible space, that is one space which is already defined and seen some success, but the real world NFTs, which are going to be provenance, credentialing, etc. These will gain a lot of applications in the near future. Provenance, tracking and tracing, certifications of authenticity, all these things will be where the future NFTs will go. That, along with the NFTs, which are digital right now, when they start turning to be physical and digital worlds combined.
Fantastic.
And as the metaverse industry expands, then the NFTs are going to move towards that. Gaming, NFTs, all are going to move towards the NFTs.
The royalty element coupled with the royalty element, sir?
Yes, absolutely. NFT with royalty. NFTs, once, I would say this way, the utility NFTs will be the NFTs of the future. And there are plenty of them in the bandwagon, and lots more. People are reinventing a lot of things, reinventing the way they started looking at NFTs, where it started off. But that's the way growth is always. Innovation always is a case of reinventing.
Fantastic. So since we're talking about innovation and it is reinventing itself, my last question to you, sir. Bitcoin, when it started, it had an intention to tackle the problem of the cross-border payments and borderless payment, the broad, if you can give a headline to it. But since we are talking about in recent time in 2023, it has seen a surge from roughly around $15,000 to $27,000. And in last 2-3 days, it has jumped roughly around $4,000 to $5,000. So is it getting the tag of a hedge against inflation? Because when it was not adopted by the institutional investors, it was considered to be as a hedge against inflation because uska jo chaal tha, that was actually following the gold, and hence it was an attraction wherein the fund managers were looking up to Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. How can you explain this situation for our viewers, sir?
Well, I mean, it's very simple. Everybody, this is only one reason why it's going up. People have seen what can happen to their money in banks. This is a hedge. You really can get yourself in a mess, in a tangle if you have. And that's been, how many of the banks, how many of the companies didn't make payroll this time? Of course, it was taken over very quickly by the authorities, but still, there is a lot of stories which we don't hear. But bottom line is, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, especially with the Bitcoin being the leader, is being seen now as a great hedge. Could this be the beginning of a bull run? Possibly. Indications are there. Could this be the next alternative? Again, possibly. But it all boils down to one thing, Manoj. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is a great hedge, no doubt about it. But in countries like we are in India, we still need to have some policies around it. We need to have a clarity around it. Tomorrow we can sit down, if Indians start putting all the money into Bitcoin, and suppose there's a ban, what do they do next? How do they move out? There's, of course, plenty of other ways. But bottom line is, I think right now, Bitcoin is the hedge. Other good crypto currency, like even Ethereum is a good hedge. There are lots of others. And I see people looking at it definitely in that direction that, well, what happens if our money gets locked in? Our money gets locked in traditional banks. It doesn't get locked in decentralized finance. So I think that's the way the future is moving now, going that side. And here we are. We are looking at a very new paradigm. In fact, we are very lucky to be in an environment where we are seeing a lot of iteration, a lot of things happening. There was a time I used to speak, there was a time when you and I would speak, this happens once in a century.
Exactly.
Now, the paradigm has changed. It's diasporically different, when we can say, now changes happen every few years. The century has shrunk. That is the big change which we are seeing. And that's because of decentralization. Blockchain being one part of it.
Absolutely. Technology is the king. That's the word coming in from Mr. Raj Kapoor. Thank you so much, sir, for joining on 3.0 TV. You spoke really well about the SVB, Silvergate, and the broader concern in the US financial markets and its impact going forward. How technology can play a vital role in avoiding such situation. You explained our viewers very well, sir. And thank you so much for sharing your views on the entire NFT space and the road ahead. It was a pleasure having you as always, sir. And we wish you all the best for all the projects going forward. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Manoj. Wonderful being here with you again. Thank you again. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.